What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? She was murdered.
Killed? Yes. Murdered? I'm not so sure about that. Still, I do regret never having known her. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
I don't expect you to understand or agree with the decision. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Okay.
Things are pretty terrible up there.
I've seen it myself. I know. That is why we are so committed to creating a better life for ourselves here. And it's a life that you can now be part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in advanced systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
와, 씨.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near... But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, do you think you could love him?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected.
새끼 왜
I
이래?
wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
죽이자고. 일단은 아들이 살아있기 때문에 일단은 좀 더 봐. 일단은 아들이 살아있기 때문에 일단 좀 다행입니다. 예. 나는 이상한 애들로 변신했을까봐 다행이네. 그래도 라디오에서 뭐 나오냐? 아무것도 안 나오네. 터미널? 비밀번호. 비밀번호 이건 좀 큰데. 좋습니다. 와, 이렇게 깨끗한 거 처음 본다. 어떻게 이렇게 깨끗하냐? 폴아웃에 이렇게 깨끗한 데가 있다니. 와, 진짜 신기하다. 대박. 이게 혹시 가상세계 이런 거 아니겠지? 말도 안 되게. 이거 어디로 가냐, 근데 이거.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown.
Hi, Doc.
They weren't
I don't
kidding.
know.
You really are.
Most of them have lasted
Well,
long
all right.
past their projected
I'm
lifespans.
Allie
If you ask
Fillmore.
me,
You can
they
think
were
of me
built
as the
pretty well.
Institute's chief engineer. Your father told us about you. I
아니,
couldn't
그럼
believe
아까
it.
전에 걔 신세들은
You've
나를
been
왜
through so
공격한
much.
거야?
I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
I'm just looking around.
I see. Well, please do mind what you touch. Sensitive equipment here, not like topside. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities,
소리가 안 난다고?
I'm happy to discuss it.
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course.
제접해, 제접.
Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes. I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks again.
Of course. We're all looking forward to working with you.
일단 혈청 찾아줘야 되는데. 엘리베이터고.
You're here. Glad you made it.
뭐라는 거야 이 새끼.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold
살포기가
still.
뭐야?
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
There. All done. You can return to your duties, and remember to record every symptom you experience.
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
와, 나도 죽기 전에 이런 세상에서 살다 갈 수 있을까? 와, 진짜 와 신기하다. 각이 없어, 각이.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak.
Seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging
Pardon
their
me,
feet on the
sir.
targeting
Did I
package
turn off the
upgrades I asked for.
interferometer?
Maybe I should take some courses with
All
me.
this must be a little overwhelming.
나와.
Please don't.
기가
There's enough friction as it is
꺼져.
between us
Hi.
and pretty much
Doctor.
all the other
So.
departments.
Here you are. Justin Ayo, acting director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. So, here you are. Justin Ayo. I'll be upfront with you. Despite your relation to Father, I'm sure you understand. There won't be any...
No problems here.
Good to hear. Now, our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
좋습니다. 무게 한 칸만 더 올릴까? 지금 25인데 25만 더. 한 개만 더 올립시다. 찍지 말고 놔둘까? 하나만 더 올려. 와, 개 좋네. 알루미늄 많아요. 총을 파밍을 아까 전에 그 무한 총알 거기서 엄청 많이 해가지고.
Scanning. Subject identified.
Dr. Orman's lecture on cold fusion was nothing short of a revelation. So much research, so little time.
Rumor is, Advanced Systems will be starting a new dark matter initiative soon.
예, 제로님 어서오세요. 반갑습니다.
Time to examine the latest reports on batch 274.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at work. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
와, 진짜 문명이다. 와, 눈뽕.
Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it.
Excuse me,
Still
Doctor.
people,
Welcome.
and they're suffering.
So good to have you here.
We can at
Dr.
least
Clayton
admit that
Holder,
it's regrettable.
head of the bioscience.
After
Wing.
all,
I
how
can't
can we
wait
hope
for you
to
to see the work we're
redefine
doing.
mankind if we
It's
can't
truly
even hold
amazing.
on to our own humanity?
I look forward to learning more about it.
In that case, let me give you, as the name implies, the bioscience division. Our most important directive is to that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food. We've even started to explore the idea of... You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of...
Sure.
Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer...
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself. He's our top biologist and also serves as... Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth.
혈청을 어디서 찾습니까? 살포기가 뭐야? 혈청을 좀 찾아주고 싶은데. 야, 어떻게 이렇게 진화가 돼 있는데 이렇게 고전적으로 문을 열어.
Nice.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results.
Hacking this is beyond me.
The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those guys in robotics are working miracles.
뭐야 이거?
Is it true Food Supplement 77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
That was my favorite one.
잠시만.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
아,
Well, that was productive.
오케이. 아, 총알 개꿀. 좋습니다. 얘 새끼들이. 야, 레이저 총이 아무리 좋아도 AK 한 방이면 다 죽어. AK 맛을 못 봤구만. 핫. 화질이 별로 안 좋습니까?
Dr. Lee.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
Authorized to be where? What is this place?
You're standing in the Advanced Systems Division, and you are not a part of my staff. If you want a tour of the place, why don't you ask Father, seeing
이게
that he's
훔치는 게 제가
apparently
패시브가
keys to the
있어요.
castle. Now, can I get back to work?
Easy. I just want to talk.
About what? You're obviously here for a reason, and you've already spoiled my experiment, so you might as well spit it out.
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find a way to intercept our teleport signal, and now you show up at my door. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
If I wanted to kill you, we wouldn't be talking.
That's a fair point. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs my help. Why? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
You're wasting your breath. I'm a scientist, not a soldier. The Brotherhood desired my creations in order to
설득이 안 된다.
destroy, to take control. I'm not interested in returning to that way of life.
I wish there was something I could say that would convince you.
You're wasting your breath. I'm a scientist, not a soldier. The Brotherhood desired my creations in order to destroy, to take control. I'm not interested in returning to that way of life.
I was just told to get you to come back.
The Brotherhood wants me back, and the best they can do is send a robot that does nothing but follow orders. Sorry, but you're going to have to do a lot better than that.
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here, a Dr. Virgil. Several months ago, there was an accident in his lab, and he was killed. I wanted to help with the investigation, but Father had the laboratory sealed, saying that it was contaminated. The incident never sat right with me. The more I asked about it, the more I felt like Father was deflecting my questions. If you bring me solid information on what killed him, I'll take it as a favor from the Brotherhood and consider your offer. Do we have a deal?
I know this may come as a shock, but Dr. Virgil is still alive. I met him myself.
Oh, please. Do you really think a cheap tactic like that is going to work on someone like me? Stop trying to avoid the legwork by lying. Either you get me the evidence, or we have nothing else to talk about. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Dr. Virgil's lab was in the Biosciences division. I can give you a code that will get you into the section, but the lab itself has been sealed, so you'll have to breach it on your own. I'd tell you to be quiet about it, but your Brotherhood and discretion isn't exactly your strong suit. And finally, if you get caught, we never had this conversation. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us. Now, I need to get back to work, and I'm sure you have other things to do.
Okay. 자. 아, 고맙습니다. 왜 없냐?